Welcome to Allies or Enemies, where we discuss games and how they work for two players. This time we are talking about Scythe, designed by Jamie Stegmater. It plays with 1 to 5 and tends to run about 90-ish minutes. Scythe puts you in the shoes of one of 5 factions competing for resource and dominance in a very cool alternate history Europe. Think, what if World War II had mechs? The whole thing was inspired by the artwork of Jakub Rozalski, and the theme is a big part of it. It's a medium complexity game that combines action selection and resource management, and a bit of area control, all in a race to be the first to get 6 stars and control the land. Let's take a look at how it works.
In Scythe, you need to pay attention to 2 boards. The first is your player board, where each turn you will be choosing 1 pair of actions. You always get to do the top one, and then if you have the right resources, you get to do the bottom one as well. Top actions include production, trading coins for goods, bolstering your military or popularity, and moving. The bottom actions let you build mechs, create buildings, enlist, and upgrade everything else. The second board is the shared map, which is where you're going to be putting everything as you slowly spread your empire of workers and mechs and explore the world. If 2 factions ever end up on the same space, they fight, which is decided by blind bidding with your military strength plus adding any combat cards you may have. But it should be noted, the combat tends to be few and far between. For the most part, Scythe is about engine building, and it's this engine that will lead you to your victory stars, which you score for things like maximizing military or popularity, gaining all of any one of those bottom resources, completing randomly selected objectives, or winning up to 2 combats. Game ends as soon as one player places their 6th star, and then you score points for stars, controlled lands, extra resources, and a bonus for building placement, and then a winner is declared.
One of the key factors of Scythe's replayability is its asymmetry. Each of the 5 factions has different strengths and weaknesses, with different character and mech powers, and starting areas. On top of this, players are randomly assigned boards at the start of the game, each with a different combination of top and bottom actions, and different action costs. This combination will also change your starting resources and turn order, which together can greatly affect your best path to victory. To add to this variability, there are also random objectives and building bonuses each game, as well as a deck of events that happen when your character reaches one of those little tokens, each offering a mini choice of possible actions. If you want, there are also several expansions, including one that adds 2 more factions, one that adds dirigibles with extra battle and worker movement capabilities, and one that adds a full campaign mode with a ton of little mini modules that you can incorporate into your game once it's all finished. We highly recommend that for both all of the new stuff and for the surprisingly cool story.
You probably already noticed, but this game is gorgeous. All of that starts with the art that's displayed on every possible area and adds a lot to the personality. And then there are the mechs and the characters, which are different for each faction and all have a surprising amount of detail. Cards are all super high quality, with most of them being oversized. The player boards are double layered to keep all of the cubes from moving about. The wooden bits are all great, the shared board is highly detailed, and even has a second oversized version that combines with an optional add-on if you want to supersize all of it. It all just feels so classy, like you want people to see you playing it, and it's surprisingly inexpensive for how much comes in this box.
Scythe officially plays 1 to 5, and that's mostly true. Scythe definitely feels different at different player counts. Mostly that is in the area control aspect. Combat is rarely ever a huge part of the game, with most games seeing maybe 2 to 5 battles in total. But with 4, there will be a bit more combat, as well as more of the subtle jostling for spaces or racing for event tokens. Whereas with 2, you'll likely be left to do your own thing, with maybe 1 scuffle a game near the central factory. For players that want to immerse themselves in the action selection, engine building aspects of the game, this will be a huge positive. But if you like more interaction and area control tightness, that will be lost at lower counts. There is an AI that can be used, however, to bolster player numbers, but it is a bit fiddly and hyper-aggressive. so it isn't so much a player replacement as a different kind of challenge. We do like it with 2, however, especially playing through the expansion campaign, which adds a few modular challenges that help tighten up the board.
Scythe is going to appeal to a lot of gamers, largely because of the look and the style of everything, but also because of its unique blend of engine building and area control. However, like we said, it's not going to be for everyone. It certainly looks like more of a combat game than it is, which can turn off players who come into it wanting to smash those mechs together, and the factions are not perfectly balanced. But if you want a resource and action management game that fills your table and immerses you in a really cool dystopian world, they don't come much better than this. It's also deceptively easy to learn, apart from the AI, which makes it a surprisingly good fit as a second step for players who are newish to the hobby. And that is it. Please let us know in the comments what you think of Scythe, especially as a 2-player game, and which are your favorite factions. And please do like and subscribe, and hopefully we will see you all next time for another game.